Throughout this PowerPoint, we will be discussing the topic of learning disabilities. In addition to general information and facts on the subject, we will also be discussing several instructional strategies for teaching students with learning disabilities. A learning disability is a neurological disorder that affects one or more of the basic psychological processes involved in understanding or using spoken or written language. The disability may cause an imperfect ability to listen, think, speak, read, write, spell, or do mathematical calculations. More simply put, a learning disability arises from a difference in how a person's brain is wired. In New York State, the 5 most common learning disability categories are as follows: dyslexia, dysgraphia, dyscalculia, dyspraxia, and auditory, memory, and processing disabilities. Dyslexia is a language-based disability. A person with dyslexia has difficulty when it comes to understanding words, sentences, or paragraphs. Symptoms include very poor reading skills, reversed word and letter sequences, and illegible handwriting. Dysgraphia is a writing disability. Someone with dysgraphia has trouble trying to form letters or write within a defined space. Symptoms include problems with spelling, poor handwriting, and putting thoughts on paper. People with dysgraphia can have trouble organizing letters, numbers, and words on a line or page. Dyscalculia is a mathematical disability. A person with dyscalculia has a difficult time solving arithmetic problems as well as grasping math concepts. People with this learning disability can have visual spatial difficulties and language processing difficulties. This means they have trouble processing and understanding what they hear. Dyspraxia is a speech disorder. Dyspraxia interferes with a person's ability to correctly pronounce sounds, syllables, and words. The area of the brain that tells the muscles how to move and what to do to make a particular sound or series of sounds is damaged or not fully developed. Children that have dyspraxia may suffer from clumsiness, slightly slurred speech, awkwardness with walking, or short-term memory loss. Auditory, memory, and processing disabilities is a sensory disability. Someone with this disability has difficulty understanding language despite having normal hearing and vision. Children with this condition can't process what they hear in the same way other kids do because their ears and brain don't fully coordinate. Statistically, learning disabilities are the most prevalent special education category in the U.S. 40% of students who receive special education services are categorized as having a learning disability and represent 5% of all children in U.S. public schools. And out of all of students who are recognized as having a learning disability, 2 out of every 3 are male. There are several factors that are concerning to both parents and educators in the special education community regarding learning disabilities. One major issue is misidentification. Some educators view the category of learning disabilities as a dumping ground for any student who does not meet the standards for success in general education curriculum.
There are many warning signs for learning disabilities, and each disability is unique. Not all learning disabilities will share the same warning signs. The most common is unexpected underachievement, which is when the student performs academically lower than what the teacher and parents would expect of the child. The 3 categories of warning signs are academic, social, and behavioral. There are several academic warning signs for learning disabilities. These warning signs include unable to solve problems, a lack in basic language skills, as well as resistant to treatment and services that are provided by the child's school. There are several social warning signs. These warning signs include immature actions, naive or vulnerable, and shy or withdrawal. These may make it difficult for the student to form relationships with other classmates, which can have a negative impact on their academics. Some behavioral warning signs include inattentive, hyperactive, and unmotivated. These signs often cause conflict between the student and teacher and can also cause conflict between the student and their classmates. They also tend to cause disruption to the teaching. Trouble with information processing is also a sign of a learning disability. The first instructional strategy that can be used to help better educate the student is the Behavioral Intervention Plan, or BIP. This requires the teacher, parents, and student to meet in order to determine the best course of action for the student so the student's behavioral skills can be improved. The second strategy is technology-assisted reading. This can help improve the student's reading abilities by using technology, such as online books. This strategy also calls for the teacher to pair classmates up by reading level so students performing at a higher level can help struggling students. KWL charts are another strategy that can be used in the classroom. This strategy will improve the reading comprehension of the student and allows them to use their prior knowledge of whatever subject is being discussed. By filling out the know, want to know, and learn sections of the chart, the teacher will be able to assess the student's understanding of the topic. Listening to others is another strategy that will help improve the communication skills of the student. This will help with the social aspects of the learning disability. By giving the student helpful hints, they will be able to participate better in the teacher's instruction. Finally, contextual searching will help students use context clues in their reading to identify the meaning of words and phrases that they are not familiar with. By taking words they already know, other words can be defined, which will allow for a better understanding of the topic. One important fact about learning disabilities is that 4.67 million Americans over the age of 6 have a learning disability. There are many celebrities with learning disabilities. Some are Albert Einstein, who could not read until he was 9, Walt Disney, who also had trouble reading, Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom, who both have dyslexia, Daniel Radcliffe has dyspraxia, and finally, Agatha Christie overcame dysgraphia and became a very successful novelist.